when we're in the hood, when we're in the, different spaces, the only way we can get out is through a sport. And it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger. God just doesn't give us the ability to run up and down the court or run up and down the field or catch a football or hit a tennis ball or hit a volleyball. None of that. Like it's so much more, to the abilities that he gives us. And it's us, the people that have found our other abilities outside of sports or whatever, to show them that there's much more than that. If you want to play the piano, if you want to learn how to work the soundboard, the keyboard, whatever, you do what you do. If you want to break down a computer and build it back up,
do your
that's
thing.
you. Like, you can be the next person to cure cancer. Who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? To cure all the different diseases and stuff like that, you could be that person. Gifts comes in all forms. It's not just about, how athletic you are.
Right. We'll do it right this time. We are athletic aesthetic. And
this guy messes up the name every aesthetic. That's what he said. Right. I said, I'm going to make like a line of merch.
Just yesterday, I said athletic.
Bro, I don't know. He gets so many syllables in that word.
Athletic aesthetic. It's so hard to say. Try to say that 3 times fast.
No.
Yeah.
He said,
yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's why I did it, dude. Yeah. It ain't nothing. So you told me you send your athlete, you make your athletes send you like 100 reps of push-ups, 100 reps of catches, 100 reps of whatever they're.
About the 100 reps of athletic aesthetic.
I'm gonna have to get a video of you just looking in the mirror. Athletic aesthetic.
You're gonna get
over and over, 100 times.
You're gonna get it.
I need it. But hey, welcome to the show. This is episode 20.
20.
Bro, we made it.
Let's go.
We made it
2-0
to the 20th episode. Wouldn't be here without you guys. And we did it. Oh, this is another thing. We did a YouTube audit.
Yes, we did.
Okay, and to see what you guys like, what works for us, and how we can better this show.
100%.
And in the response, I don't even know if I could screenshot or something, but the lady called me bashful, which I appreciate because it's holding me accountable. But at the same time, I read it and went, what the, so she said, his bashful approach at asking people to subscribe is too late in the episode and it's bashful, so it's not a call to action. So I need Casey to slowly zoom in on my face here in the edit or something.
If you guys do not subscribe to this channel,
that's perfectly bashful right there. The table.
I don't know how to say it. Listen, we're doing something that's different than I think any podcast in the world is.
100%.
I think we're on fire right now. We're not just doing this to do it. Like, we really see a vision for where this podcast can go, and we can't do it without you guys. So
100%.
Please subscribe to this channel. I ask you every week bashfully to do it, but I'm looking you directly in the eyes right now. And wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, hit the subscribe or like. Ding. Follow us on social media at Athletic Aesthetic Pod on all platforms. Leave a comment under this video in every possible way that you know that you could interact with a show. Do it. Okay? Because I ain't going to be called bashful again, right? I'm sick of this shit. Get to the episode, man. Tyra, thanks for coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Glad to have you here in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're recording, actually. I'm rolling on both cameras. You're rolling on both?
All right, because we usually just jump into it.
Yeah.
How we are.
Mark is
I don't know if we're...
So shout out to our boy Anthony. Our normal videographer. He's competing today. He's in the military.
Good luck, boy.
Good luck, man. Hope to hear good results from what he's got going on. I have no idea what he's competing in, but he's competing in something. Pretty serious, apparently.
So. Right. Either way.
It's like a shooting competition or something.
Yeah. All that.
Yeah, but shout out to Marcus. Thanks for coming and shooting, man.
My man Marcus, you can't see him, but we're going to get a picture of him in this video somehow, some way.
For sure. And Tyra, again, thank you so much for coming in today. We do like a little intro before this. So we usually jump in and just give you a couple seconds here to introduce yourself to the guests, let them know something about yourself. And then we got a new, it's not a segment, but like a new way we want to kick off each episode.
Yeah.
But first, give us your little, elevator pitch, who you are and what you're about.
Who am I? Wow, that's
Let's
a deep
go.
question. That's a deep question. Well, first, I'm Tyra Grant. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. Definitely born and raised, living here in Pittsburgh now. Repping my Steel City Impact, executive director of a nonprofit organization where we, help kids 7th through 10th grade in the McKees Rocks area. I'm looking to expand within the next year or so to some other areas. But like I said, I'm all about helping the kids. Even when I was playing basketball, when I was at Penn State, I came up with it. I told you guys before this quote, like if you, can affect change in just one child's life, you lived a successful life. So I've carried that, when I stopped playing basketball professionally, both, getting drafted for the Phoenix Mercury and playing overseas in Italy and Finland, I kind of, through trying to find my purpose, I always went back to that and said, it's always about, working with kids and, try to help them in any capacity that I can, whether it is training them with basketball or, just through, helping them with their overall, behavior and grades, attendance in the school with them and letting them know they have somebody consistent in their life.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, so the first time I met you was actually at the exhibit, right? I don't think we had met before that.
Nope.
I'd heard so much about you, and so the exhibit that we did at Stage AE benefited Steel City Impact, so all the ticket sales went to that. So shout out if you were there. Appreciate you guys. We raised some money, had a good time, and Exhibit 2 is in the works.
Coming soon.
So
Man, it was phenomenal. I can't wait. Let me know when you have another one. That was exciting.
It's going to be a good time.
Yes.
But so I was talking to Trey this morning, and we were like, this podcast started with just me, okay? And I was just interviewing people. The kind of like the heart behind it was this niche of sports uniforms and art within sports. And then I brought my boy Trey on, and this guy has like, a passion for mental health and like helping people and like finding people's why. And I'm speaking for you right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
But
It makes me feel good.
He's made this podcast more well-rounded.
Yes.
It's not just about the art and the sport anymore. It's actually more so about the person and the athlete and, finding the athlete in what you do. So in the natural progression of that in our podcast, I wanted to kind of kick it off and set the tone every interview and every conversation. Within the next 10 years, let's say your life goes exactly according to your plan, what you want out of your life. What do those 10 years look like? What are the accomplishments that you make? And what does your life look like in 10 years?
Well, the immediate answer that comes to my head is having Steel City Impact in like every school, and especially in, around the Pittsburgh surrounding areas, and just growing, and having, and just impacting on such a major, scale. That's honestly where I see my life. Like if it could happen that way, if I could say, God, this is what I want, and he just said, boom, that's it. That's honestly what I want. And whatever comes from that, whatever benefit or whatever comes from that is what I'll take. I don't, that's all I want right now is to affect change in kids' lives. That's truly all I want.
We found another one. Another superhero. We found one.
Every week we cue up the song.
Hey, man. Cue the song. Cue the song.
We need to just get it. Actually, we need to figure out like what's the time length on the song
And just
before
hit
you
the-
get demonetized. Not that we're monetized yet, but like future thinking here, and just hit the button. There's like, turn it to a superhero.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The reason why I say that is because there's not a lot of people putting out there positive change, right? Right now, as we talked about before this podcast, right? There's a lot of negative things going on in the world, and we talk about it every week. People see it every week, right? But who's promoting that positive change, and who's going to be the leader of it? So when we find superheroes, bro, I want to get that button. So when we find one, turn them up. And here we go. We here. You know what I mean?
That's got to be button number one.
Got to be button number one.
Yeah. And something that I love about your answer there is, there's a lot of people that do nonprofit work. There's a lot of people that, give back or
Right.
whatever, but they, it's kind of like an extra thing that they do to like make them a more well-rounded person, or sometimes people just do it out of guilt, I think, which is not ever the
or
motivation
tax breaks
for doing it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I love that you said like your 10-year goal, like that's your heart. It's all about giving back. It's all about helping these kids. And so that kind of leads me to my next question, and that's, you know, maybe going back to your upbringing, like why do you think that's so important to you now?
It's very important to me because as you talk about the mental health aspect of it, and not just from an athletic standpoint, but just as going through this past year has been a lot of unpacking for me, going back to childhood traumas and, you know, how they affect what we do and how we move in adulthood and how we sometimes there are people dead and gone in the grave that still haven't figured out how to get through life, you know, and try to unpack those things and, you know, seek whatever type of help or counseling assistance, anything that they need to better themselves and to break those generational curses. So because I've experienced, you know, that in different ways, I believe that at the bottom line, whatever your journey was, my journey was, if we're all three sad, it doesn't matter how we got there, we're sad.
Bunch of sad people.
we're just sad people. And so, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's my purpose to, you know, try to help people see their way outside of there, and knowing that because when we go through things, we think it's just us. Oh,
Right.
this is just me. Oh my, and then we isolate ourselves. And as we know, you know, an idle mind is a devil's playground, and he wants to isolate us and keep us, you know, alone and by ourselves and in our own thoughts. But I feel like it's my purpose to help people and to know and help these kids that you're not alone. Yes, it's going to be hard, but we together that I'm here for you, and then we can figure it out. You know, we can get through it. You know, suicide and even with middle school kids. I mean, that's a big thing. I don't think people realize that, and even just attempts and all of that through the grade level that I'm at, between 7th and 10th grade. You know, that's a big thing. And depression and anxiety, I've suffered from all of those. And I said, that's something I went through. I'm no longer there. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go back there. But I believe, you know, long story and short is just that's what I believe my purpose is to help them and be, like I said, that consistent person for them.
I love that because that shows me that you believe in true positivity. I got a tough time when people give fake positivity. You know, they tell you they're going to get better, but they don't tell you how. And then on the back end, they tell you it's going to get better, but they don't tell you how hard it's going to be. You know what I mean? Because like nobody wants to hear, oh, this is going to be tough. And I'm in a position now where I've come to realize is that's making us soft as a community. Like we don't want to hear the hard stuff. We don't want to hear the hard things, the truths, right? So the fact that you're giving them the truth, like we're going to get through this, but it's going to be hard. I love that. That's true positivity because that's real. Yeah. You're not lying to them. You're not telling them you're just going to be okay. Because the one thing I could tell with anybody, right, when somebody comes up to you and says it's going to be all right, you almost want to look at them and be like, well, how? You tell me how. Like, since you know.
Well, this is rough right now, and it don't feel. It don't feel like it's gonna be okay.
So by you saying that, man, I commend you for what you're doing because that's real positivity. You're keeping it real with these kids, and you're being real overall. That's huge, man. That's really huge.
You have to. They respond to that. You know, they can tell, just like us as adults. We can tell who's fake and who's not. You know, what's real, and that's all you could be is authentically yourself, you know, with them. That's what they need. And that's what they deserve at the end of the day. So, you know, my thing is that, you know, God allows us, you know, to go through things to build our capacity for what he has for us, you know, down the road. So anything that we're going through, you know, just understand that this is for our good, you know, and it's understanding that we thank him even through all of that. But, you know, but I said it's easier said than done. Yeah. And I feel like as long as these kids know that they have someone that, like at the end of the day, like I tell, and they know this. I just was talking to a young girl in my program yesterday, and I said, do you believe that I love you? And she was like, yes. And I said, why do you believe that? And she was just like, it's not that you just love me, you love all of us. It's because of how hard you go for us and how you know, much you want us to succeed in our grades and our behavior and how you're on us just so tough. And that's because you love us. And I tell them that all the time. I said, if I didn't care, I wouldn't say nothing. But because I care, I said, I'm very, being with Simon, And of course, you guys have, met him. I don't know how long you've known Simon, but at least last week. But he's very intentional about who he gives his energy to and his words to. And I have adopted that as well. So as much as I'm filling myself up every morning, listening to, motivational messages, gospel messages, anything, words of encouragement, just building myself up every morning. I have to be very careful on who, I'm giving myself to, so they understand that. And I'm very intentional with them, with everything that I do. So, it's just.
Did you have to, was there like a few hard lessons you had to learn about giving yourself to the wrong people along the way? Because I feel like that's something we all go through. Yeah.
Yeah. Me being such a giver, and I remember a long time ago somebody asked me, what's your 3 weaknesses in an interview? In a job interview. And one of my weaknesses I said is understanding that not everybody's cross is for me to bear. Because I want to fix it. I want to put my cape on, like you said, the superhero, and I want to go in and I was just, come on, this, and you lose yourself.
Right.
It's great to lose yourself in the service of others, but realizing not to get completely lost and lose your identity. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was a time where I literally spent this past year trying to figure out who Tyra was. Again, because I lost myself in the insecurities of other people, trying to adjust to make them feel better, but then losing myself in the process.
Respectfully. Now I have a question. So take us back to young Tyra. We're in Italy. We're in, Finland?
Yeah.
What are we thinking? At this time, you're an athlete, right? Your life is changing in rapid pace.
Right.
Week to week, month to month. And from what I understand, basketball in Europe for women is a lot more prominent than it is over here in the States. So explain to me what young Tyra's thinking like, what she's going through. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, in Italy, Tyra was at the peak of everything. I just came from the Phoenix Mercury. I'm over here. Ball is life. I'm thinking this is about to be the end all be all for me, is playing basketball overseas and, having a good time. However, there was some bumps in the road because of the type of team that I was on. It's a lot different, than being here where, you could sue people and it makes, you know what I'm saying? You could do a lot of things and get contract wise. You get, people are more on their P's and Q's business wise because they know what could happen if not, breach of contract, stuff like that. So one thing is because our president waited so long to get the team together, he kind of had the people that they didn't want on other teams. You know what I'm saying? So we had good players. They just weren't the best personality fit together. So that kind of messed us up long term, down the road. Sure. And so he, they was trying to hold out our pay. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they can.
This is in Italy? Mm-hmm. It's damn Italians, dude.
Hey, that's your culture, dog.
Yeah. But apparently, that's just something that could be done, because here's the thing. So I leave without $10,000, $15,000 of my money, but how do I go to court for that?
Right.
Because I'm going to lose money more than anything, because I got to get an attorney, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to figure out everything. And so now it's like, is it worth it? And they kind of know that, whatever. But all in all, it was a great experience. I took the experience, being immersed in a different culture, understanding that, all that was just amazing. So in that time period, in that moment in my life in Italy, I was fine. Finland, not so much. I was going through some things, with my mother. So mentally, I was not there. Me and her have had an up and down, relationship. So in that moment, we were having it down. Wasn't the best time. So I wasn't mentally focused, at all. And I think that's when things kind of took a turn for the worse there.
So my question is, like, when things took a turn for the worse, and it happens to a lot of athletes, right? Because we are typically the strong ones, right? So we don't speak up, we don't speak out, right? So like in that moment, you're struggling. What are you doing? Are you isolating? Are you talking to somebody?
At that point, I would talk to my godmom, you know, stuff like that. People in certain people in my family, not everybody. You know, I always knew to seek good counsel. You know, I'm not just going to anybody. You be somewhere about to bust windows out of somebody's car acting crazy. You know, you can't just talk to everybody about your problem.
100%.
But what I was going through, and this is really when we talk about mental health and athletes, was everybody tells you your entire life when you are, you know, a good basketball player. Sometimes they even tell you when you're not so good, and just parents are just living vicariously through you, that this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're going to do your whole life, and they don't teach you to be that basketball is an inanimate object. That's something you're good at. You know, that's a God-given ability that you have, but that's not who you are. You're not that. So they give you that identity of the sport that you play. So then once it's over, you don't know who you are after that.
Identity.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot on this, show.
For sure.
The identity of, you know, separating yourself from the athlete.
Yeah. It's hard.
Really hard to do.
It's hard, man. And that's the one
really
thing you'll notice on our podcast. We say the athlete never leaves, right? Because at the end of the day, although you're out of the sport, your mindset was created due to sports. You know what I mean? Like, I can't count on one hand on how many people I meet in the real world, right, who haven't played sports that understand on why people who are athletes are so disciplined, are so sticklers on time. Even though he was an athlete, but we ain't gonna get into that. But for the most part, like, man, it's like, you see the difference. You notice the difference immediately. Like, okay, yeah, you did something before in your past life. Now, my next question is, we're done with Finland, right? You're trying to figure things out, as you said. Where do we go next?
In oblivion. Honestly, really was kind of like spiraling out of control, trying to find my footing, you know, in life. So it's not like I did anything crazy. Right. But it was mentally. I'm trying to figure it out because at this point, you know, when we talk about, you know, people living vicariously through their children, now I'm identifying myself because I wasn't where they wanted me to be or this person wanted me to be. Now I'm identifying myself as a failure and I'm not worthy because I'm not still playing, even though inside, like, I really don't want to do that anymore. Because I didn't like the culture and what I was in. I didn't want to feel like I needed, when I was playing with Phoenix Mercury, I mean, unfortunately, there were people that were sleeping with other players. You know, there was a lot of different things that was going on where political-wise and stuff like that. I'm not about politics. I don't want to kiss nobody's butt. I've never been that person. I'll be respectful. I'll do my job, but I'm not kissing your butt. I'm not sleeping with this person. And even overseas, you got players sleeping with coaches and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was just like, wild. And that's normal over there. You know what I mean? So
I'm telling you, this Italians, man.
But it was just this weird. I mean, like I said, that, but like, it ain't just them. You know, we talking about Europe and you know, all the other players. So it was just a different world, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to feel like if it, like, you know, if over there you got Americans on a team, they expected Americans to bring them championships all the time, and if you don't, you're a failure. You know what I'm saying? We want to kick you out, go home. You know what I mean? Right. It was a lot, and it wasn't that I couldn't take the pressure. It was just I just didn't like that environment. Like I just was. I'm like, what is going on? You know what I mean? It's not because I love it so much. I can't play this game like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I have such a burning desire and love for that game, for the game of basketball, I just couldn't do it anymore. Respectfully. But I know these people want me to. I know that this is what they've created, this whole about me, and this is what I'm supposed to do until I'm 40 years old or whatever the case may be, and I'm not doing that. So I'm really trying to find my worth and where I fit in, and you know that's what I've done really until now. You know, and as far as I told you, I spent this last year unpacking a lot of things. Right. That was one of them. Am I worth it? Am I worthy? Am I deserving of love and this and that and all of that and self-love?
That's strong. That's very strong. So from what I've seen, you're a very, 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 very decorated person, man. You've been to a lot of different places, done a lot of different things. Military or police officer?
Police officer.
How did you go from sports to police officer? Okay. Like,
I didn't even know that.
Yes, I was a police officer for like a year and a half. Was going
So you tried out?
but I mean, it was back home, so it was easy. I mean, it was easy
Said
to
you
be
tried
in that because I'm back home. People know me. It wasn't hard. It was just the pay was just crazy. And then
You were definitely that cop that you pull up on people and they go, good, it's Tyra.
but hey, let me tell you this. I'm not losing my job. So, I mean, there's been, it was like, so what you want me to do? This your family? I said, do what you want to do. Do what you got to do. That's all got nothing to do with me.
That's on them.
Right. I tell my family, I said, do not put me in no, position where I have to do my job now.
Right.
Go on about your business. Don't put me in no craziness.
Yeah.
We're awesome. Like I don't do that. But no, it was a great experience. I'm happy I got to do. I told you the little superhero, the little cape thing. I'm telling you, it fits right in. That just my other version of trying to help and impact change in my community and all of that. But yeah, once it came down to like pay and then like in order to like really make money, you gotta work crazy overtime or you gotta do, especially coming straight in as a rookie and all of that. It was just too much. And then I had the opportunity with Simon, doing life insurance and stuff like that. And that was just a better opportunity for me.
Respectfully.
So you were a police officer in Youngstown? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sure that was you had some crazy stories from your short time there, I'm sure.
You had to chase somebody down?
Yeah, like,
you still got the speed,
we
though?
I mean, they tried to get away, and then good thing it really wasn't like a battle.
Right.
It was just like, all right, it happened. I chased you down. Got to put you on the ground. You
The adrenaline rush, though.
And yeah, it was. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, a year with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why we just got to this point, but okay.
I got one friend right now. He's a police officer in West Virginia, and I told him, I said, hey, if you ever pull me over and I see it's you, I'm doing the dash. You might have to catch me. Hey, you one of my closest friends. I gotta see your talent.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure your tools are sharpened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a
better
buddy.
hope you don't have no body cam, boy. Because then now you're going to jail because you want to be dumb.
I'm going to see you on there and go, damn, dude.
You gonna see me on cops?
Right, like, now why do you
Listen,
do that?
that's going to be, actually, go ahead. Our ratings will probably go up for the show. So, like,
Look at this guy.
Oh man, nah,
I know we're going to play that clip on the podcast.
So what happened here, Trey?
Yeah, take me through this. We're going to watch
man.
film like, all right, rewind here. You see where you messed up?
Okay, so
See where you messed up here?
So let's get into that because we know about football film, right, and how you get eaten alive. What is it like in the basketball room watching film?
I ain't gonna lie, like when they had them lights down, I kind of was fighting sleep. I'm not gonna lie, but
Like, yeah,
at
coach.
Penn State, I was like,
Uh-huh.
and you gotta be careful. They call on you.
I had
you
a
know,
coach.
like-
I had a coach that would be a serial napper in film session.
Oh.
Like he was like the running backs coach. He like worked full time. He'd show. This is D2, so like we're on a budget here. We got guys showing up after work to coach, and I remember like sitting in there. We would always catch him, but the coach, like the offensive coordinator, would never catch him until one day, like he flicked the lights on to like prove a point, and bro, he's just
Snoring.
And
That's
I forget
hilarious.
the whole story, but it was like one of the funniest moments of my life when he caught the coach sleeping. He never let him live it down. Too.
Hey, man, listen. There's times where you can look around the room, right? We're in a meeting, and the lights are down low. You can see everybody using their best talent to act like they're sleeping but awake at the same time.
Yeah.
I done seen dudes be like this.
Yep.
I done seen dudes be like this. I done seen a lot of.
them lights, I'm telling you,
Bro.
put them lights down, and
Yeah.
then now your body finally has a time to
Yeah.
just
It's over
sit.
with.
Yeah, my freshman year, we were the number one offense in D2 football. We had like led every category of scoring. Our quarterback was a finalist for the D2 Heisman. Like we were incredible, and like scored 84 points in a playoff game. And we would, as a freshman, I got redshirted, so these film sessions had nothing to do with me.
You
and my
asleep.
buddies. So like it was me, a couple of this dude named Tyler Tucci, Chris Kedash, who are now, I think Kedash is coaching now high school ball, but
That's
he's
hilarious.
a stud. I want him to come coach at EF because, bro, he's a stud. He knows football in and out. But anyways, these guys, I remember they came back from, I think it was a party either at Ohio or WVU. I forget where they were coming from, but
Gotta be careful on WVU.
bro, well, Ohio too. Have you ever been to Ohio University?
Man, I've been to some places and seen some
Apparently,
faces.
Ohio University is like crazy
It's
party
nuts.
school. So like they come rolling in. This was like after a Halloween game. They went after the game on Saturday to Ohio or to WVU, I forget where it was. Came back on Sunday morning straight from the party, still in full costume, like hungover as hell. I think my buddy was dressed up as a gynecologist, and
What was y'all doing in
Bro.
West Liberty?
bro, you do have no idea what D2 football is like. As much as I don't know what D1 football is like, you do not know what D2 football
think-
is
here's
like.
the
So
thing,
they
man.
went in the film like this?
Straight into film.
We wouldn't have made it out. Not a D1, you wouldn't have made it out.
Straight into film like
We-
that.
we'd
Come
have
in
all
like,
been
smelling
running.
like beer and liquor and just straight from the party.
Have you ever seen Blue Mountain State?
Yeah.
That's what I think of D2 football, bro.
Bro.
I think when I hear Blue Mountain State, I'm thinking D2 football.
Bro, it is
that
every
would've been
bit of
bad.
that.
So now be honest, okay? We're honest on this podcast. You're at Penn State. We know Penn State is a lit school. Mm-hmm. What are we doing in Penn State as a young Tyra? Are we partying? We having a good time?
Well, I mean, you got a dash of both. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like, obviously, as far as being an athlete, you know what I mean? You got to,
Tone it down.
yeah. But
Freshman
we didn't
Tyra.
have to. Like, you know, there was definitely those times where, you know, but what I loved is that we went out as a unit. You know, and then a lot of the, you know, we all stayed in Nittany Apartments, which was right on campus, and that was where all the athletes stayed, and then you had the normals, that's what we called them, normals, which
We called them narps.
just normal students, you know, whatever. But then so you had the football team, you had the men's basketball team, and you had the girls basketball team,
Okay.
all in one space.
Oh,
man.
wow.
Yeah.
That's trouble right there.
You know what I'm
Active.
saying?
Yeah.
So
I
you
don't
know,
know who thought that was a good idea.
What year were you at Penn State, if you want me to ask
so it
you?
was 2006, 2010.
So you were there when Joe Paul was there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I gotta know. What was that experience like on campus when everything went down?
Well, see, I was there right after. I left and then it happened. You know, so I didn't know any of that was happening at the time. Now I do remember in the summer, because we would have, you know, summer workouts, but we would also have AAU tournaments that were at Penn State as well. So we would work those and, you know, all of that, you know, different stuff was going on. So I remember them having summer camps, you know, for football. So I remember seeing that, but I wasn't really privy to everything that, you know,
Yeah,
went
of
on
course.
there.
Right.
I never heard anything from it because like I said, all of us were very close.
Right.
The football, after Adrian Morelli, there was Daryl Clark that was at Penn State. He's from Youngstown as well. We like this. So he never told me anything. So I was just happy that when I left, all that came. If it was gonna come out, please, after I left.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was literally the year after I left.
Wow.
It kind of all started.
But that's when
bubbling
you guys were winning a lot. Y'all were fighting for national championships.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
was it crazy
It
on campus at that time?
Oh yeah, I mean, and you got to think like even my official visit was when Penn State beat Ohio State.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm on the field as a high school kid.
Just looking around.
You know, listen, sea of white, literally. That wall.
Yeah.
And you see like this little splat of like red,
Yeah.
a little sliver right there.
Oh, man.
But it was just crazy. And then after they won, you know, people jumping on the field. You got the security snatching people out there. Get over here.
Yeah.
You know, like that was crazy. Mason, the crowd, the other recruit that was there for the women's basketball, she got maced in the face.
Did she commit?
She was in front. She did. She did. I was like,
I'm not committing after that. I'm not committing.
because everybody's pushing us forward.
Yeah.
And so literally the guy, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Megan. I was just happy it didn't happen to me. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would have done. Like,
So be honest. Did you low key push her in front of you?
no, we all were getting put. Like it was crazy. Like literally, like because people were trying to storm the field.
Oh wow.
Yes. So, and it wasn't no small drop off from the, jumping over that,
That's a
thing.
jump.
No, yeah, it was a little jump down there. Like, I don't know what y'all was doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they was trying to go over. So, by any means necessary. And it was crazy, but it was an awesome experience, to be a part of that. But, we just had a good time, though. I ain't gonna lie. Were there some times where my mind went this color? Absolutely.
For those listening, she pointed to the black microphone.
I'm not gonna lie.
It'd be like that, man. Because the one thing I feel is cool though, I love when athletes get together. You know what I mean? Like when or you see another athlete and y'all can kind of reminisce on the same things but be from different schools. That is the coolest thing ever to me outside of sports. You know what I'm saying? Like talk about like anybody, especially even you, right? Like we could talk about what happened your freshman year. Bro, I remember when. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's those are the remarkable moments.
Because it doesn't matter what level you're at. The memories stick the same.
Same.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter you're D3 or if you're playing high school or little league. Like those memories are like core memories when you have, and I think a lot of that has to do with teamwork,
100%.
and having a common goal and then having a shared experience while trying to achieve that common goal.
For sure.
So it's like, I think that's kind of, to bring back to Steel City Impact and to bring it back to like what we're passionate about is forming a community. Because I think a lot of people, once they get out of sports, they strive to have that
Absolutely.
that common goal with another group of people. And when you you can have good intentions, but if you have that good intention and then give that to the wrong group of people, you can waste a lot of time
100%.
of your life.
Big
and
time.
like you said, then you got to take some time to unpack it all. And you got to, like you said, where you've been for the last year. I've been there myself for the past few years, and I think COVID shifted a lot of people's focus, and a lot of people have unpacked a lot. So, what do you think is one of the major differences in your life, from maybe the last 3 years? Like, what's different?
I would say it's just the feeling of going through that healing process. Like because I've always operated from an unhealed place. Ooh. So, and you're not allowing, God to take control of your life. You're too busy trying to hold on to it yourself. And then how that go. We trying to steer our car life, and then we keep, now we didn't crash, we didn't burned a little bit, we didn't, done all of that. But as I've seen, and kind of what I said even at the cigar event on Thursday, is that when I truly look back over, when they say that song, what God has brought me through, like, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember, laying on my best friend's lap and like, is this ever gonna feel better? Like, is this pain gonna ever go away? Like, it's like in that mind, you think, this is gonna be forever. This is crazy. And then she said to me, she said, look, you're gonna look back in a few months from now, and it still might hurt, but it's not gonna hurt this bad. But you're gonna feel better. Because time, it's just crazy when people say that time heals all. No, it doesn't. Time just makes it easier to deal with, so my pain, do I still feel it a little bit? Yes, it's easier to deal with. That's all. Just like the loss of somebody. That doesn't go away, But that's where I'm at now. It's operating from a healing place.
Yeah, I think you either cope or you heal. And in that amount of time, like time doesn't change it. But, a year goes by, you can tell who decided to just cope and block it out, or who decided to like face those demons and those things and try to pursue healing. And usually the people that try to pursue healing are the people that you look at from the outside and go, oh, they're falling apart. And the people that try to cope, you're like, oh, they're good. They handled that pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost this embarrassment you have to get over, this like humbling thing of, I gotta be not okay for a little while, and a lot of people are gonna question why I'm moving differently while I'm, and that's tough.
I think it's also okay to communicate though, right? Don't let yourself struggle in silence. And that's the one thing I feel like we all have a tough time with, is because once we go through a situation, we want to isolate ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Like you said, either you cope or you go the other direction. And for me, I did a little bit of both, right? But the one thing that I've learned more than anything, I've learned to smile at my struggles. And the reason why I say smile at my struggles is because I don't look about where I went. I'm looking at where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows, man? That the thought process where I was, how I felt, I was there when I was there. Where I'm at right now has nothing to do with what I was doing there. It might have changed me for a better person, 100%. But we grew since then. So there's no point in I don't even say disrespecting yourself, but there's no point in harming yourself and looking at yourself and saying that, well, you didn't do this back. Well, when.
Right.
Man.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say something. I think what you're referring to is something that has been said to me in this past month is giving yourself grace.
Come on.
We don't do that enough. I know I did not. Like, I mean, you couldn't punish me more than I'm punishing me. Like, you would have no idea how bad, and how, Tyra, you're embarrassment, why are you're 34 years old, why are you not here, and like, this, you know what I mean? And you start looking at other people, not that I'm jealous of anyone else, but it's just like, you could be so much further. You could and not realizing like, hold up, Tyra, dang. It could be worse. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at where you've been through and things and experiences that, and nobody can say like, because when you say military, I was civilian in the military for a minute, and like I've traveled over the world. I've been able to travel through basketball. I've been able to do so many things. And how many people can say that they've accomplished the things that I've done? And it's not looking at it from an arrogant perspective, but one of the things I had to realize is like, Tyra, you need to realize who the F you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to remember who you are. Like, this ain't that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's 4 people in women's basketball history at Penn State with 2,000 or more points.
That's all I'm saying. Marcus, you see it? There's only how many people?
4.
How many people done came through Penn
And when
State?
she graduated, there were 3.
So that means there's only one person that's done it since.
What?
There's only one person who's done it since, and ain't nobody done it since then.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. All right.
That's who
So
you
we on the
are.
same page?
We're on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got a
the
question
same
for
page.
both of you. Okay? This is something I like to do, not only with myself, but with other people. You got to give me 3 things that you love about yourself.
I would say my passion, the fact that I'm healing, that's what I love, and that I'm giving myself grace. That's where I'm at right now in my mind. It's those 3 things. That's what I love about myself.
That's a great question. I don't even know how to transition out of that. That was a killer
I
question.
mean, you still got to answer the question.
I got to answer that.
You got to answer it too.
I was going to say, you never asked
You just
me
going to let her
that.
do it by herself?
I thought that was good. I thought we could just move on from there.
Give me 3 things you love about yourself.
About myself,
It's not easy.
yeah, it's not, because you want to like not sound like conceited or
Nah, but you got to.
self-centered.
to.
But yeah, no, I love that. I love that if I do something, I do it 100%. Like I never, and it's a downfall as well. But I struggle to just do things. I have to like ask questions of why I'm doing these things, and there has to be a bigger purpose attached to it. If there's not, then I have no interest in
Doing it respectfully.
Is that one?
For sure.
You want 2 more?
2 more.
I think you kind of did like a 1A, 1B thing.
I know that was
Yeah,
good.
so
that
maybe,
was got like a 2-parter.
maybe one more.
I like-
Give me one more. Give me
Yeah.
one more.
I like that I feel like I can walk in any room and connect with the person that I'm talking to. And it's not because I don't understand your life and what you've been through. And I definitely don't understand your life and what you've been through. But like, I have full confidence that I could sit down with you and find that common ground. That's something that I really am passionate about, is like, this world's so divisive. And I think that if everyone, I think everyone has an agenda at the end of the day. And I think that kind of forfeiting your own personal agenda and kind of figuring out what yours is first, not that it's a positive or negative, but what are you about? And then how can I help you reach the things that I agree with you on? And then the things that I don't agree with you on, okay, let's find a way to, not overlook them, but maybe understand them a little bit more, and maybe I'll see things from a different perspective. Like I never want to just put my foot in the ground and say, this is,
Right.
and sometimes, like I said, that's a negative thing, that I'm not like, this is who I am. But like, I just, I think there's people out there smarter than me. There's people out there more talented than me. There's people out there I can learn from anybody I talk to.
I like that, bro. And that means a lot. You can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. And I said to my girl the other day, you can learn from the bum on the street because they weren't always a bum. You know what I mean? Like, you can
won't
learn.
always be if the right people come in.
You feel me?
In their life.
And for me, man, the reason why I asked this question is because I love the fact that I'm ambitious, I'm courageous, and I'm willing to stand up for the things that I believe in. The reason why I say those things, and I say them so deeply and with no questions asked, is because I stand up in front of myself every single day in the mirror and say, this is what you are. This is how much I love you. Because I can't go out here loving everybody else more than I love me. Because then it's not fair, because I won't give me to any of these people, at least not in the right way. So I can admit to myself when I'm not okay. I can tell both of you right now when I'm not okay, because I have that much faith that I'm going to get up out of it. And I'm putting you around me for that reason. You understand what I'm saying? So,
And to also, I want to throw this out there too. Those are two. My third is that, like, I love that I'm a good dad.
You're a
And,
great
like,
dad.
I strive to be a great husband and a great dad. And, like, you know, I'm sure I fall short in the whole realm of what is a great dad and what is a great husband. But I do have, like, the passion to be the best that I can be. And, you know, it's something that I've committed to and that I stick to.
and you're a great dad, bro. I've seen it. You're a great dad.
Thanks, dude.
I don't know if they tell you that, but you're a great dad. You're a great dad. So let's get back to the good questions. Now, Tyra, you're a police officer. You went to Italy, Finland. I don't even know what's out in Finland, to be honest with you. So now we're here with Steel City Impact, man. Where's the next place that you guys want to go and touch and be able to really help the community? Where's the next place you guys are trying to go?
I mean, well, I can't really say specifically. I mean, I know that, you know, on Thursday we spoke to, you know, a goddess in Aliquippa.
Okay.
You know, I know they talked about Penn Hills. I know, but in reality, it's, you know, I know this is, I don't want to sound like this is a fluff answer, but it's like literally wherever God takes us,
Right.
you know, because at the end of the day, he does have the final say in what we do. But, you know, like I said, it's all about connections. So what do we connect with next? But at the end of the day, the goal is to expand. Because it's not just kids in McKees Rocks that need, you know, assistance and stuff like that. It's more. So wherever we see fit, whatever the connections are made. But I know those were some two names that have been thrown out already.
That's cool, man. That's really cool because you're going to help a lot of kids who need it. And I can already see the impact. How many kids you say have gotten honor roll?
So, yeah, we went from 1 to 13. And
Come on.
I'm really excited right now. But in this last quarter, I mean, we got kids that we got this kid, his name is Michael, and his grades were crazy because of just his attendance and, you know, different personal things that went on at home. But now he's on honor roll right now. Like, he's on track to have honor roll.
Great job.
Come on.
And he hasn't yet, like, he has not hit honor roll yet, you know, but he's a smart kid. He does his work when he's there. You know, it was just the fact that his attendance was so crazy. And I think what's also motivating him is because he wants to play football. You know, so it's like whatever's working. But we also have a competition going on, you know, with the kids where I've actually put them against each other. You know, who's going to come out on top, who's going to have the best grades, who's going to have all that. And so I just got word from the principal yesterday that they had a meeting after school, which they do basically like every day of the week, except for Fridays, and they were raving about Steel City Impact and the impact it has had on the kids, especially right now where they're even helping and pushing each other, you know, to do better and all that good stuff. So,
Come
I'm
on,
just excited.
man.
Yeah, it's
Can we get
exciting.
some finger? Can we get some fingers?
That's another soundboard right there.
Soundboard. Superhero again. No, that is so huge, man. That's remarkable. And I remember one of the things that you said at the Burn event. You were like, these kids are adults before they ever actually have to be an adult.
Yep.
And I remember sitting down and being that kid who legitimately I grew up almost on my own in some type of capacity. You know what I mean? So I commend you guys for not only allowing these kids to be kids, but teaching them on how to be the adults that they already are. You know what I mean? Because they do things that other kids in other neighborhoods are not doing. Like they're providing food, they're waking up their sister or their brother, they're walking their brother or sister to school. They're
Getting
not
them off the bus.
getting them on. Come on.
It's crazy
Come
the
on.
stuff I hear that they have to do. Like the fact that you got to make your siblings.
Dinner.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then and then there's no food there to even do it. So you like creating, you know,
Right.
stuff, or like you have to be the adult because
You don't have
This
any
is
choices.
crazy.
And it's not like, and please don't get it twisted for those of you who are watching, because it's not that the parents are not being parents, but sometimes the parents are working 2, 3, 4 jobs, right? So somebody got to step up, and it might be that kid that you're saying that it can't pay attention or is sleeping in class or doing the things that you said is not right. He's not doing those things because he's tired from being up for the last 12 hours taking care of the family. You know what I mean? So I commend you guys for being in a neighborhood that needs it. They need the love. They need the strength. They need the guidance. That's beautiful, man. And I have a strong passion for that. I want to be involved as much as I can, as much as you allow us to be. And if there's anything else that we can do, I know we donated that small check that we love to be able to do, but we want to do more, not just financially, but physically and in person. You know what I mean? So if there's anything that I can do, please let me know. I know Vinny will probably feel the same.
Yeah, for sure. Anything.
Yeah. I would love for
Anything
you
at all.
guys to come like over the summertime. I'm trying to partner with as many people as possible.
100%.
Even if it's kind of like a, little art thing where and you can bring in some of your stuff just to show them, what you've created, different things that you guys are doing. Like I want them to know, oftentimes when we're in the hood, when we're in the, different spaces, the only way we can get out is through a sport. And it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger. God just doesn't give us the ability to run up and down the court or run up and down the field or catch a football or hit a tennis ball or hit a volleyball. None of that. Like it's so much more, to the abilities that he gives us. And it's us, the people that have found our other abilities outside of sports or whatever, to show them that there's much more than that. If you want to play the piano, if you want to learn how to work the soundboard, the keyboard, whatever, you do what you do. If you want to break down a computer and build it back up,
do your
that's
thing.
you. Like, you can be the next person to cure cancer. Who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? To cure all the different diseases and stuff like that, you could be that person. Gifts comes in all forms. It's not just about, how athletic you are.
Right.
To do that. So I would love to, for you guys to come out and talk to them.
100%.
And just whatever,
Yeah, whatever we could do. We definitely, this is not the last time we'll hang out and do stuff together. And is there anything, as we wrap up here, is there anything else that you wanted to, put out there or plug or promote? Any events, or how can they get in touch with you or donate to Steel City Impact and all those things?
So you can always go to steelcityimpact.com. We have, donation tabs there. You can meet the board as well as myself. Through there we have like a little interactive videos that we play and talk about ourselves. And but yeah, you can always see what we're doing through our website, on Instagram as well. Steel City Impact is the handle there. Facebook, same thing. Steel City Impact, Pittsburgh, all that good stuff. We're doing so much. It's so crazy right now. But our end of the year competition, where, like I said, we're putting the kids against each other, is we'll be going to Hershey Park. And then they'll get to experience the, amusement park, get to go to the museum, the chocolate museum. Also, we're going to be giving the kids $200 each to go and buy some shoes or, or whatever at the mall. We did that over the of Christmas. We did that for our top, top kids at that point, whoever was like on track for honor roll or had.
So you have like a, not a ranking, but like you have like a first place kind of competition.
It's more like our top 10 or top 15 or whatever. But the real thing is that I want top 30.
Come on.
All of them. You know what I mean? Like we're looking very good. And then we have our 6-week summer program that's coming up. We'll start June 12th, go all the way to July 20th, where we're going to be Neb, one of our board members. He's an awesome person within the hospital and medical field, and he's vice president. He's a great guy. But we're going to be touring the Allegheny hospitals, and then we're going to see an open heart surgery. I'm trying to get the kids to do a tour of Black-owned businesses around Pittsburgh. We're going to be doing getting a meeting next week with helicopter rides. Horseback riding. It's
exposing
so
them
much.
to
Yeah, just
so much
exposing. Like
different-
we're doing mountain climbing, hiking.
Just exposing them to everything you can. That's beautiful.
Everything that we
That's
possibly can, and just partnering with many people as we possibly can to provide the best experience.
That's amazing.
That's beautiful. That's,
that's
really
it.
beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, the reason I asked about like the competition, I don't know how you would structure this competition, but maybe we can do like an incentive. So if whoever comes in first, whatever you figure out as the credential of winning the competition, I'll do a pair of custom shoes for that student. Let's do that.
Okay.
And his custom shoe, I don't know if he got any in here right
I'm
now.
in here right now, but
He's very talented, so I think that'd be
Listen,
really cool.
First of all, I didn't see the mural. All right. Okay. I didn't see this. All right. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, trust me, I already know. I'm gonna have to steal a
yeah, I mean, I
still
don't
a pair of those.
I don't want to assume they'd want one of my custom shoes, but if they want
Yeah,
them,
right.
Hey, Vinny, I want a pair and I still ain't get a pair, but we gonna talk. We gonna talk.
yeah. Well, as we finish up here, like I said, I also want to issue a challenge to our listeners, and you didn't get
100%.
off the hook too. I'm gonna hit you in a future episode about 3 things you love about yourself.
I can tell you again.
You want to hit it right now?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I'm ambitious, I'm courageous, and I stand for the things I believe in. So that's the people I believe in, that's the people that I'm around, and the things that I personally believe in. Every single day is a challenge. Understand that. There ain't no shortchange of that at all. Every day's a challenge. Every day's an obstacle, right? For those who've been through trauma. I've been through the world and back, but I'm okay with that. There is nothing wrong with going through something. Because it's not what you're going through, it's how you get through it. Mm-hmm. And I promise you right now, I'm never going to quit on myself. I've been to the ledge. I can take you to the bridge. As I said before, it's right behind this building, bro. I don't fear it anymore. I appreciate it and I thank it because it put me in a position to be where I'm at now. I don't look at my traumas as things that actually hurt me. I look at my things that grew me, right? Look at a rose, right? How does a rose become beautiful? You got to go through all that tough storms. It has to go through the rain. It has to go through soil. It has to go through all these things just to become beauty. So if you mean to tell me it's going through all that to get there, why aren't you going through all that to get to where you're trying to go? Give you another example, depending on what you believe in, right? If you believe in Christ, you believe in Jesus, right? If Jesus was put on the cross and beat up on, thrown rocks at, and everything in between, right? And still was able to be glorified and pushed through, what makes you think you ain't going to go through something?
You know, I was thinking about you saying that's beautiful. I didn't mean to interject there. You got me on fire right now. But you were talking about like how you had to unpack for a little while. But like the beauty in that is that you had a full suitcase.
Come on.
You know? And so some of those things you had to sift through, but some of those things probably stayed, you know? And so I think a lot of people have like this suitcase, which is their life, and it's just empty because they're afraid to add things to it.
100%.
And so I think part of life is just the things that are there, putting them in the suitcase and then reevaluating it and
Come on, man.
kind of unpacking it from there, you know?
And I carry my suitcase with no problem, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I got some baggage. I got things that I've been through and I've talked about and I still talk about, but I'm so thankful, bro. Like, even losing my mom, I'm thankful for it. Because I would not be the man I am today without that. And that's a guarantee. And that's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to say out in person, but it's the truth. That's why, like, the things that I've been through, they're not just things that I've been through, but they're things that have grew me into the man that I am. I'm not taking that away. For what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we are changing the world, bruh. Like, I'm not here just to hang out.
Yeah.
And be on this
absolutely
planet.
not.
I'm here to make a change. I don't know about y'all, but I'm here to make a change.
I'm glad I gave you the time to give me the 3 things because that was amazing. But what I was setting up here was a challenge to them. If you're listening to this in your car, if you're
Come on.
listening in the shower, cutting the grass, whatever, maybe you're watching us while you're working. You should be working, but we appreciate that you're watching us instead.
100%.
What are 3 things that you love about yourself? And if you haven't asked yourself that before, because honestly, it caught me off guard. And, maybe this is a chance for you to evaluate that, unpack some things. Take the time to care about you and figure out what's important to you. And maybe if you're really up for it, maybe you could share some of those things with us.
Please.
Let us know in the comments of this video or message us privately if it's something that, you need some help talking through. I'm sure any of us 3 here would love to help you wherever you're at because, we all need someone at some point in our
Come
life.
on.
So if we could be that person, that's what we're here for. So.
Are you okay with being that ear, Tyra?
Oh, absolutely.
What about you? Man? You okay
Of
with
course,
it?
man.
I mean, I didn't go through this just to keep
I
it to
charge for
myself.
it.
You gotta teach the next person. You gotta be able to pour in life and to the next person. And like I said, we don't just go through things for our own benefit.
Come on.
It's also to tell people and profess, how good God is, because this isn't my own doing, this is His.
Come on.
So that's why He allows us to go through these things to build the capacity for greater but also to confess his name and say, like, this ain't me.
Right.
This is all him.
This is all
I
God.
had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And that's why he will continue to tell you to go through things until you realize to take your hand off of it and just trust him.
Come on. So you got people here who love you, so let us love you. That's all I got to
Absolutely.
say.
Send on that, dude. Hey, thank
we
you for
go.
being here.
Thank you, Tyra.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
you.
me.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys.